What if I told you that the money inside your wallet right now is literally losing its value every single second you hold it? Seriously. And what if there was a secret digital asset created by an absolute ghost that could actually protect you from a global financial collapse? Stick around, because in the next few minutes, your entire view on money is going to change forever.
Think about it for a second. Is the cash sitting in your pocket right now actually losing value? The short, undeniable answer is yes. Your currency is dying every single day.
I mean, just think about the price of basic stuff, like milk and bread. Why does it jump so drastically from back in 1920 to what we're projecting for 2026? It's definitely not because the products are somehow magically getting better. It's because fiat currency is dying. It's caught in this massive value-dropping loop. But who is actually causing this continuous drop in your purchasing power? Well, it's probably not who you think.
Section 1. The Big Banking Scam. Let's dive into the dark reality.
So when you deposit $1,000 into your bank account, you probably assume it just sits there safely in a vault, right? Well, wrong. Thanks to something called fractional reserve banking, the bank immediately lends out 90% of your money to someone else. They only keep a tiny little fraction on reserve. But here is the really scary part. What happens if everyone goes to the bank to withdraw their money at the exact same time? Stick around for just a couple of minutes, because I'm going to reveal how this exact glitch literally crashed the entire global economy. Because that exact scenario actually happened. Back in 2008, the housing market completely crashed. Major banks collapsed practically overnight because they simply didn't have the cash on hand. And what did governments do to fix it? They printed trillions of new dollars completely out of thin air to bail those banks out. Now, when you print trillions out of nowhere, the money that's already in your pocket immediately becomes worth less. It's runaway inflation, and it acts as this massive, hidden tax on the poor and the middle class.
Section 2. Enter the Ghost. Satoshi Nakamoto.
Right in the middle of all that 2008 financial chaos, a mysterious figure using the name Satoshi Nakamoto emerged from the shadows. They published this radical 9-page paper proposing a totally new philosophy. A currency that belongs to the people, controlled by no king, no president, and no central bank. This was the birth of Bitcoin. Now you might be thinking, well, can't the government just ban it or shut it down? Stick with me, because in about 60 seconds, you're going to understand the brilliant mathematical reason why it is completely unstoppable. The absolute most crucial point comes down to one single number, 21 million. You see, Satoshi didn't just write clever code. He fundamentally altered the psychology of scarcity. He hard-coded an unbreakable rule into the system. There will only ever be 21 million bitcoins. Forever. No central bank can ever print more. No government can inflate it. If you own one bitcoin, you own exactly 1/21 millionth of the total global supply. It is totally guaranteed.
Section 3. The blockchain, how it actually works.
But how can we possibly trust a digital currency if there isn't a bank in the middle? The answer? The blockchain. Imagine a giant digital notebook. Whenever a Bitcoin transaction is made, it gets written right into this massive global ledger. But instead of keeping this notebook locked up in one secure bank vault, copies of it are distributed to millions of computers all over the world. These are known as nodes. But wait a minute. If it's literally just a digital notebook floating around the internet, what stops some hacker from just changing the numbers and stealing billions?
Pay close attention to this next part, because this is where the absolute genius lies. To fake a transaction, a hacker wouldn't just need to break into one bank vault. They would have to simultaneously take over 51% of all the computers running the network across the entire planet. Overpowering all those honest global nodes is mathematically and financially impossible. So decentralization, it isn't just some tech buzzword. It is impenetrable mathematical security.
Section 4. The ultimate upgrade. Digital versus real gold.
For thousands of years, humans used physical gold as a store of value just because it was rare. But gold has a massive flaw. I mean, try moving $10 million worth of physical gold bars across an international border right now. You'll be stopped, interrogated, and taxed incredibly heavily. The transfer speed is painfully slow. But contrast that with Bitcoin. You can send $1 billion across the globe in 10 minutes for a fee of less than $2, and no one can ask you for permission.
The advantages here are just staggering. It's digital gold. It is mathematically rarer than physical gold and completely impossible to fake. Plus, it's highly divisible. You don't actually need to buy a whole Bitcoin. It can be divided into 100 million smaller units called Satoshis. So you can start with literally $10. And perhaps the most mind-blowing part of the whole shebang, you can store billions of dollars purely via memory, just by memorizing a password. It's total financial freedom, locked entirely in your head. But before you just dive right in, we definitely need to talk about the catch. Look, Bitcoin started at zero, and today it's worth tens of thousands of dollars per coin. But owning it is completely useless and incredibly dangerous if you don't secure it properly. One tiny mistake with your digital keys can literally cost you billions. Your entire wealth can just vanish into the digital ether forever. Poof, gone. So how do you actually protect yourself and make your crypto 100% unhackable? Well, you'll just have to join me in part 2 to find out. Until then, ask yourself, how safe is the money sitting in your pocket right now?